Okay, so hi Claire, it's good to see you. My name's Jason. I'm one of the counsellors here at the Wellness Counselling Centre. So yeah, it's good to see that you've come in today. Did you have any trouble finding us today?
No, not at all. No, everything's fine. Thank you.
Yep, okay, good. Were you able to find a car park close by and?
Yeah, not too bad this time of day.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Right, so you know the area pretty well? Or
Yeah,
not?
it's not far away from home.
Yeah, okay, oh that's good, right, so you've got area fine, that's good. Okay, well Claire, what I just want to start with giving you some information about what we actually do here. The counselling approach we use is called the person-centred approach. So with the person-centred approach, we believe that you, as the client, you're the expert in your own life. So you know what's best for you. So what we can do here is really help guide you to make decisions that will benefit you, so you can feel better in your life and move forward with things that you might be struggling with.
Okay.
So have you ever been counselling before?
No, I haven't. I'm not quite sure what happens or anything in it.
Okay, right, yeah. Well, I'll just go through what basically is counselling contract information here, and if you have any questions at all, just ask.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so another thing I'll talk about here is confidentiality, and that means everything we talk about in the sessions, everything we discuss, remains confidential. So it just stays here in the room with us.
So if my husband were to call up and ask about what was said in the counselling sessions, what would happen there?
I'm not able to discuss our sessions at all with your husband, and I would tell him that basically what we discuss in here is confidential. I would possibly suggest if he wants to know, he could ask you himself, but I definitely am not free to give him that information, unless of course you give me consent to give him, discuss with him what we talk about in here.
Alright, thanks.
Yeah, so there are, the only reasons that I can actually break confidentiality would be is if I believed you're at risk of harming somebody or harming yourself, or if that information about our sessions was requested by a court of law, and then I have to provide it, or I have your specific consent to provide our information with somebody. So the only ways that I will actually break confidentiality and share our information.
Okay, thanks.
Yep, okay. So initially we'll contract to have 6 sessions. These are 6 one-hour sessions, and we can sort of negotiate that further as we go. If you believe we need more sessions or less sessions, you just let me know and we can negotiate how that is. But that's basically the counselling process that we'll have. The sessions will normally be once a week, and they'll be 1 hour in duration.
Okay.
Now, each 1 hour session costs $120, which can be paid at the beginning of each session. You pay our admin people when you come in, and you can pay by cash or EFTPOS or cheque. There are late cancellation fees. It's 50%, or it's full session fee for 0 to 24 hours if you cancel, or it's 50% of the fee if you cancel like 24 to 48 hours before the session. And if you cancel before that, like earlier than 48 hours, there's no fee. So basically, if you do need to cancel, just let us know within 48 hours and we'll be able to reschedule another session for you. Now, during our sessions, I'd like to take notes, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
And the reason I take notes is to help me remember the things we've spoke about. I'll probably jot down specific information just so I'm able to help you, I suppose, with making your decisions and working out the things that you're having trouble with. Now, the notes and any records we have are kept in a secure, locked location, and the company keeps all records for 7 years. So it's similar to like its privacy and confidentiality. Everything is kept here quite secure, so you don't have to worry about anyone getting access to this information. But I do take notes. I may discuss your case with my supervisor, if I do that, I don't identify you, I might just use your first name. And the reason I do that is it may help me to be able to help you, you know, if I can discuss what we've spoke about and get better ideas and guidance for helping you move forward. Okay?
Okay.
Right. So, usually you're free to email or telephone or text message the company here, but counselling sessions are by arrangement only. So that basically means if you you might want some information or a bit of guidance or whatever. If you send me an email or make a phone call or a text message, I can reply to it, but I won't actually enter into a counselling with you. So the reply might be just to see if you're okay, if you're in an emergency or a crisis, I might recommend you contact 000 or Lifeline, one of the other agencies, but we've got information there with all the centre info. And we may even schedule an appointment earlier than our next one if you feel you really do need to talk. But we don't enter into counselling just without arrangement, just so that you know that.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now normally counselling is ended by a mutual agreement. It's basically we're both happy that it's time to end the process, and basically you're autonomous to move off on your own. But you're free to make that decision whenever you want. If you decide this isn't for you, you just let us know and you can end the whole counselling process. You don't have to attend all 6 sessions if you don't think it's the right thing for you. And plus I may do that too. I may think that we're not really helping you, we may want to refer you to someone else. But that's something that we'll sort of discuss and we can work out mutually as we go if it comes up. Apart from that, we are scheduled for the 6 sessions.
Okay.
So does that information make sense to you, or do you have any questions regarding that?
Yeah, that's really comprehensive. That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. If you have any other questions about any of this as we go, just ask and I'll do my best to answer them for you. Okay.
All right. Thanks.
No worries. Okay. Right. Well, we've got roughly 15 minutes left of our session today. I'd like to know what it is. What's the reason you have for wanting to come in to commence counselling today? So I'd like you to be able to tell me about that if you can. Does that sound alright to you?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Okay.
So I have a dilemma at the moment, and I need to make a decision by the end of the week because I left my job 4 years ago when I had my son.
Yep.
I just thought it was the best thing to do at the time. I really enjoyed my job, but I had a baby and I stayed at home with the baby.
Yep.
But I kept in touch with my boss because my boss was great. It was a really great workplace.
Mm-hmm.
And my boss has got in touch with me and offered me 3 days a week at my old job.
Right.
Part-time, flexible hours, and obviously I would need to put my son into kindy for those 3 days a week. And I'm finding it difficult to make a decision because it's really stressing me out thinking of leaving him. I haven't left him.
Yeah.
He's 4, I haven't left him, so it's really stressing me out, the thought of leaving him.
Yeah.
And I've got some pressure from my husband because we're on a single income right now, and obviously the extra money would help.
Yeah.
And I've got the pressure of my boss needing to know by the end of the week because he wants me to start back as soon as possible. And I've got the pressure if I want to get my son into kindy, I have to fill out all the forms because it's not immediate. You have to apply and get all of that done. And I just feel a whole load of pressure of making this decision, and I'm finding it really difficult to make the decision. It keeps going round and round in my head, and I don't know what to do.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it sounds to me that you're feeling that you're kind of stuck perhaps in trying to make this decision, and that the idea is going round and round in your head. You've got the opportunity to go back to work, to a job that you liked.
Yeah.
And you know your husband's putting pressure on you for that too, for family reasons, financial reasons. But to do that, you'd be putting your son in kindy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can see that is quite stressful for you. That it's a big decision to make for your own benefit, the benefit of your son, and for your family. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really big change.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm just finding it really stressful trying to make the decision with it.
Yeah. Okay. and I definitely understand that. I understand that it can be really difficult sometimes to make a change. You sort of have two options really. That's either make a change, which would be putting your son in kindy and you go back to work, or not making a change. Everything just stays how it is.
Yeah, staying in the rut I'm in right now. Yeah.
That's right. Yes, exactly. That's the way you'd like to put it. Yeah. Okay. So, what would you say your most urgent concern is right now, if you could really?
Well, I've only got to the
pinpoint
end of the week to tell my boss, so I really feel the time pressure of this.
Yep.
So I need to make the decision, and I need to do it now, really.
Right. So the most urgent concern at the moment is making this decision.
Yeah.
And the decision is whether or not to no change, you stay at home with your son, or make a change.
And
You're
go
on your
back
son
to
and
work.
you go back. Okay,
Yeah.
that's the most urgent concern at the moment. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's look at those two options of either going back to work or not, and we'll look at positives and negatives of them. So if we look at, say, an option one is no change. You stay at home, everything stays the same. Can you think of something positive or an advantage of that for you?
So no change. Obviously, it's not stressful because I know exactly what I'm doing. I've been doing it for 4 years.
Yep.
I don't have to worry about my son getting upset when I leave him at kindy. I don't have to worry about myself getting upset when I leave him at kindy.
Yep.
Everything just carries on as normal, really.
Okay. Yep.
Mm.
Righto. So there are some definite advantages there. Can you think of any disadvantages of no change or staying at home?
Well, it's been 4 years, and as much as I love looking after my son and spending time with him,
Yeah.
I have started to feel a bit isolated and a little bit down at being at home all the time.
Right.
And I have felt like I'm sort of ready to go out there again.
Mhm. Yeah.
So yeah, staying at home, it's been a bit long, 4 years. And I really enjoyed my job. Staying at home, I haven't got the independence of the money I used to earn.
Right. So that's a disadvantage. Yeah, lack of independence, lack of finances. Yep.
Yeah, and socially, I mean,
Yep.
I've got a mother's club I go to, but I had other friends as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Righto. So if we look at, there's some really significant negatives there, two disadvantages. Have a look at your other option of making the change. And the change is Ethan goes to kindy and you go back to work.
Yeah.
Can you think of advantages of that?
Well, money is a good one.
Yeah.
I have the financial. It'll get my husband off my back. I mean, if I didn't take this job, I think he'd be pushing for me to get a job at some point anyway.
Really?
Obviously, Ethan's going to go to school soon, so can you prepare him for that?
Yep.
I mean, there's going to be a time where I have to hand him over and I don't keep him at home. I mean, I'm not intending to homeschool him, so there's going to be that big change at some point.
Right.
Maybe we should just get on with it and do it now.
Okay.
And it'd be good for him socially, and it'd prepare him for school, because that's what kindies do.
Yep.
And I would have a little bit more independence.
Right. Okay.
And I did enjoy the job, and I like my workmates. A lot of my old workmates are still there, including my boss. We'd have that little bit of extra money. I'd have that extra money
Would you?
to be able to spend on what I wanted, rather than feeling I'm asking my husband for his money all the time because we're on a single income.
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
Okay. That's right. Okay. So there are some significant advantages there of making the change.
Yeah.
Can we look at, or you tell me, what are some disadvantages of making the change? Can you
Well, I'm
think of any
really
of those?
concerned about how distressed my son would be at leaving him there. I mean, I know that children do get distressed and then they get over it and they enjoy it. Or maybe he won't be distressed and then I'll be distressed that he's enjoying it so much and he doesn't really need me after all.
Right.
But is that separation? I mean, I've had him for 4 years at home. It's the separation of leaving him there
Yeah.
and the guilt of leaving him there. I mean, am I being a bad parent by doing that?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's mainly centered around the emotional toll of making that break and being separated
Yeah.
from my baby.
And I think that's a really good way to look at it, that there are both emotional and practical
Mm.
sort of influences here on you and your family in making this decision.
Yeah.
There's the practical side, you're coming up with those like financial things and advantage and there's something to socialise, and then there's the emotional side of
Mm-hmm.
you're worried about how he'll feel if he's taken away from you during the day, and you're worried about how you'll feel about having done that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's your marriage too. Your husband has been nagging, as you said it, you to go back to work for the financial
He has
reasons.
been on about it.
Yeah, so that'll basically relieve that if you do go back. So yeah, there's definitely emotional and practical components of this decision you're making.
Yes.
Okay. So what I've done, I've actually taken notes here and I've jotted down what you were telling me, the things you've come up with. And we call this the decisional balance tool. Now, basically we've looked at the option of making a change, of Ethan's in kindy and you go back to work. We've looked at advantages and disadvantages of that. And we've looked at the option of no change, whereas everything stays the same. You stay home with advantages and disadvantages. Now, I'd like you to take a look at this if you like, and just see what you think. Sometimes it helps if you can visualise all these ideas that have been going around in your head. They're all your ideas, they're everything you've come up with. It'll just help you get it all down on paper like that.
Yeah, okay, thank you. There seems to be more advantages there to going back.
Does it when you look at it?
Yeah, it does.
You can visually see it on paper like that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Right. Do you think this is helping you at all in being able to make your decision?
Yeah, it does, writing it out like that rather than having it just going round and round in my head without any beginning or end to it.
Okay.
It does help looking at it like that, yeah.
Okay.
So I really do need to make a decision by the end of the week. I think I will be calling up my boss to say I'll go back.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's good. So
Yeah.
when you broke it all down and looked at it, you've made your decision. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think I should probably fill out the kindy forms tonight because otherwise I'm going to miss that open window to get him in.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Right. So you've made a decision that you're going to enrol Ethan in kindy. You're going to return to work. You've already identified your next steps. Your first step will be to work on the enrolment of him because that has to happen pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and contact your boss and accept the job.
That's
Yeah,
right.
so that's great. Okay. So what I'd like to do now is actually acknowledge the progress that you've made, Claire. You've when you came in, you were a bit confused, a bit stressed about this decision. The ideas all going around your head. You're feeling stuck. You've broken it all down into options and advantages, disadvantages of both, and come up with a decision that you're happy with, and you've even come up with your first steps you're going to make. So
That's right.
that's great progress you've made here today. I think you can be really proud of yourself for that. That's good. Yeah. So if we're going to schedule further sessions, would you like to do that once a week?
Yeah, once a week sounds great actually, yeah.
Okay, we can do that same time each week. Now, is there something else that you'd like to talk about or work on in these future sessions?
I think my confidence being a parent and my guilt around being a parent and making bad decisions and how they can affect my child, and I know everybody says all parents feel guilt, but I do feel guilt, and
Right.
that's
Okay. Yeah.
making me feel emotionally vulnerable and just need to feel a bit more confident with the decisions I'm making.
Yes, I understand. Okay, so we can put that down as in future sessions we'll focus on better managing the guilt you feel about and the worry about parenting, and you'd like to feel more confident overall in your parenting.
That's right. Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll start working on that next week, and we'll also I'll just monitor how you've gone in those steps you've identified you're going to make towards your goal of Ethan enrolling in kindy and you're going to make it work. We'll see how you've gone forward with those two next week. Okay, so we'll schedule next session for a week from today. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds great, thanks.
Okay, no worries. Thanks, Claire. Thanks for coming in.
Alright, thank you.